Welcome to the Man Cave Podcast with Dan Casper.
Brewers falling yesterday to the Tigers 9-1. 9-1. And it was pretty, I think, fair to say it was kind of over with before it started. It was kind of over with before it started. 9-1. Brewers allowing 4 runs to the first 2 innings, and then at one point it was already 9-0 after 8-0 through 4, and then 9-0 through 5. And finally the Brewers getting a hit in the bottom of the 5th inning, and then not scoring their first run until the bottom of the 9th inning. But Alexander, Brewers only went through 2 pitchers, which I guess is one positive in this thing, but Alexander went 4 innings, giving up 6 hits, 8 runs, 4 of them earned, and striking out 2. Rodriguez came in and gave up a home run right away. But after that, settled down nicely. So maybe another positive aspect from that is Rodriguez, kind of outside that solo shot. He didn't walk anybody, only gave up 3 hits and struck out 7. So trying to look for some positive stuff with this thing. Other than that, there really wasn't a whole lot. Brewers just 5 total hits in this game, one of them coming from Chiriot Contreras. We mentioned the Hoskins one breaking up the no-no, Ortiz with an RBI2, and then Terang at the bottom of the lineup. But Pat Murphy, after the game, not mincing any words, saying there's always a built-in excuse if you want one, but let's not do that. If we're going to be good, if we're going to be really good and competitive, it's concerning that you've been blown out 4 times in 17 games. We didn't get blown out 4 times in 162 games last season, I don't think. So that is concerning. Really, tonight it was the defense that let us down. So what do you make of Pat Murphy's comments? Do you agree with them? Brewers did have a couple errors in the game last night, but do you? I saw some people, I would say it's maybe the minority. I don't want to speak for everybody, but I saw some people, at least on social media, kind of saying, only 17 games in. We don't need to push the panic button yet. There, Skip. Don't need to be saying that stuff right now, and that I appreciate. I don't have a problem with what Pat Murphy said. I don't. I think he's calling it for what it is. Brewers have struggled against some good pitching, and right now they've lost 3 in a row. So I don't have a problem with what he said. Was he wrong in anything that he pointed out in his comments? I don't think so. He's exactly right. They've gotten blown out in a couple games against the Yankees. They got blown out by the Royals in their first game of that series. You look at score, it's like, 9-1 blow up. But it was, like we said, you could tell it was over with pretty early. I mean, he's not wrong. And I don't have a problem with what he said. Calling it like it is last night. So, good for him. Good for him. But, looks like a lot of you, too, also put out there that you don't have a problem with what Pat Murphy said in the comments. So we got Jeremy already with the Grind My Gears here this morning, saying that what grinds my gears is when the same people who say coaches and managers should speak their minds or say less coach speak, those are the same people who say, who complain and say they need to be more careful when they do speak freely. What Pat Murphy said yesterday was awesome, and more coaches should do that. Yeah, I don't have a problem whatsoever what Pat Murphy said yesterday. And, I mean, let's go back to last year. Some of the stuff, some of the comments, he was pretty open and pretty honest with a lot of that. Coach speak, manager speak gets old at times. Like, we can see through it. We can see through it. I understand why some coaches and managers do it, because maybe they don't want to come off by throwing somebody under the bus, throwing one of their players under the bus, or they don't want it, misconstrued out there in the media, or people taking it the wrong way. We know how things get with social media and such, so I get it from a PR perspective that maybe some coaches and managers are a little, holding things closer to the chest and that. But I think we can give Murphy the benefit of the doubt that he's got a pretty good pulse. He's got a pretty good pulse on his team, right? Like I think he knows what he can say, what he can do. This is what's unique with baseball managers. It's not just schematics, scheming, X's and O's, that sort of stuff. You're managing personalities. You're managing the players within that clubhouse. So I give Pat Murphy the benefit of the doubt that he knows these guys and he knows what buttons he can push and he knows what he can go out there and say. Like, he's got a pretty good pulse on this team. And again, what he said, I don't think there was anything wrong with it. We see it. I don't think like for me, if I hear the whole, hey, it's early, we'll be fine, we're talented, we're a good team, we're going through some injuries, but we'll bounce back and we'll get there. Stop it. It's the same old song and dance. We don't need to see that. We don't need to hear that stuff. So I appreciate it. Puts a little bit more like, hey, ownership on what we're doing right now. We're not. We've done this a few times where we've gotten blown out. We got to be better. Taking some onus on yourself, taking some ownership. So, yeah, I don't have a problem whatsoever with what Pat Murphy had to say yesterday. But things will continue to be tough, at least for tonight. You got Jack Flaherty on the mound going up for the Tigers. Flaherty this year 1-0 with a 1.62 ERA, 21 strikeouts to his name. He's coming off of a no decision against the Yankees where he went 5 1/3, giving up 3 hits, no earned runs, 9 strikeouts. Just one win. I mean, he's gone up against the Dodgers, the White Sox, and the Yankees so far, and his win was against the White Sox. But you're looking at the lineup compared to obviously there's nobody from the Tigers who has any experience going up against Priester, and we'll talk about Quinn Priester here in a second and go back to his start that we just saw last week. But Yelich by far has the most experience going up against Flaherty. 33 at-bats, 870 OPS with a 273 average, a couple of home runs. Yelich getting the off day yesterday and kind of just maybe resetting and such because he is off to a slow start. Yes, he's gotten a couple home runs. Yes, against Colorado, he had a couple home runs and thought, okay, here we go. Maybe starting to turn the page. And after those couple dingers, it's been pretty quiet. Yelich saying it's a slow start, but I've been there before. I was telling someone this the other day, some years, it's like downhill skiing, nice and smooth and easy all year. You start up high and you're there the whole time, but then the other years, you've got a hard hat and shovel and you're digging all season. They all play out differently, and I know how to navigate both of them. There's far less panic when you've done it for a long time. You realize how long the year is. It will turn. I'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. Pat Murphy also saying, too, yesterday, that it was his decision to leave Yelich out of the lineup and not Yelich's call to sit, saying, quote, he always wants to play against everybody, you know what I mean? But at a certain point, you have to pick some days that you give him off days. Everyone who knows Christian Yelich, everyone, for all the years he's played the game, knows that he's not backing off from anyone. So it was my decision. I made it Sunday, and it's just based on, hey, give him a perspective, give him a day. Not to bring up our debate from last week, but going back to the Cal Ripken Jr. start, you get a guy that gets an off day, and Cal didn't have one for how many years in a row, for crying out loud, in 162 games or what? But man, and this is the thing too. Like I'm going to do it from time to time. Pat Murphy went on to say, I'm going to do it from time to time. He's not going to play 155 games. That's not his body. Not that his body's old or anything like that. It just needs to be perspective like everyone else. Let's put that in perspective again with Cal Ripken Jr. starting line. Anyways. Going back to the lineups and such, Hoskins has 7 at-bats against him, but just a 143 hitter, does have a dinger against him. Bowers, 5 at-bats. Contreras has a home run against him, too, 286 average. Chiriot, 3 at-bats, has a home run against him, too. But by far, Yelich, and Terang has 6 career at-bats and hits 333 against him. So, I mean, Yelich by far has the most experience against him. Everybody else has about a game or two against him. So, but Quinn Priester is getting his second career starts for the Brewers. He's had other starts in his career, but for the Brewers' career, second career start. He's coming off of a very solid performance against Colorado back on the 10th, where he went 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, 1 earned run, struck out 4, and issued a couple of walks. So, I mean, I think it was a solid debut for Quinn Priester, going back to last Thursday. Now, can he build on that? What else does he have left to kind of show us? Can he continue to, what do we always like to say, stack that success? Can he go 6? Can he keep the pitch count down? Can he not give up the big hits? Because we know that Flaherty's, just assume, play the odds that Jack Flaherty's going to be on tonight. So can Quinn Priester limit the mistakes and help keep his team in his ball club? Because it might be tight scoring. It might be hard to score against Flaherty tonight. So can Quinn Priester have himself a game tonight and keep his team in a position that maybe they can get that 1 inning? It might just be that 1 inning where they can put up a crooked number. And maybe that'll be enough to secure that W. But there's a lot of pressure on Quinn Priester tonight to limit the mistakes, to have a solid game, and try to keep his team in a position where, hey, maybe it'll take just 1 or 2 innings where they only score, but that's enough to get that win tonight. It's going to be tough. Not going to lie. It's going to be really tough to see if they can get through it.